I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order and approval of tonight's agenda. Next motion for the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I approve the minutes from the 2016 pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. The June 16th, 2025 regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve those minutes. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The June 30th, 2025 special meeting.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the July 1st special meeting.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Right. Moving on to old business. Town schedule of fees 2025 update.
So I'm thinking, this would be a good chance when we've got people here, when we start talking budgets, which I don't want to jump the packet, but, our Form 1s are in from 23 actual, 24 actual, 25 budget and 26 budget. So this is where we plan out and get these every year. Eric, this marks a year for you. Congratulations. This is one of the first things we talked about. So, Joe, myself, our department heads, and a couple of the council, if there's more of the council available, we can host a special meeting because of the budgets we discuss publicly. Most of the time we have a council member there and our department heads to discuss these things, just to get raw numbers in place and talk about next year's projects. So around the same time as we do that, we could fold that in with a discussion of the fee schedule, just to put those two together. I'll send that fee schedule out via email. So everybody, and I've given everybody a paper copy, but whenever we get to the part of looking a little closer, we have looked quite a bit at updating the building side of it. Now those are in place based on the ordinances, but it's just shoring up the organization of all our labor and equipment, all the fees within our town hall and our utility billing system. And then water sewer is separate from that, but we included updated building permits when it comes to horizontal drilling, things like that. So
There's something didn't Todd go through and do
that's
recommendations for all these?
where, yeah, exactly. So we'll put all that together and we can begin the process. We'll get a public hearing scheduled. But round about the time we're talking through budgets, I know we don't want to be here for 4 hours, but it's tough to do during these regular meetings because we have a bunch of other business. So we can start to think about when we want to meet about budgets, and we could even take the same group of council members with Joe and myself and propose the update, schedule the public hearing, get the publication. Actually, we'd need to do the publication, host the public hearing, then wait the allotted time and then adopt. And Justin, who's on, can advise us as well in the process for that. So I'm going to start to get that in the pipeline. I'll send that to everybody so they're aware and everybody's on the same page.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Department of Natural Resources, LWCF grant, but
So I'll let, and I meant to catch up with Joe on this. I kept that on there because there's the sort of thought of how that's going to hang over into next year. And we've got a bill from Troyer for their services to date. Now, if we want to put something in place, they've done this groundwork already. Sure, some things will change, but the work they've already done, it would like to be nice to secure that towards an agreement next year where we're not spending $5,000 on one and another 13 to 15 on next year, so it's a total of 2 years spread across 2 years, but they've done 5,000-6,000 worth of work for us. So it would be hate to that just fall by the wayside. So to keep that communication up, see where we want to go as far as maybe projects we can complete the next year and then be ready for next year's. If they're able to just hold, press pause, then hopefully we can pick the pieces up early next year to begin that process. So
and Mike Reese is actually going to work on some numbers for us as far as breaking out each one of those projects that we had initially, the pickleball, all the disc golf, and see if, what it would cost us out of pocket to literally have a shovel-ready project. So he's going to send us some numbers, and these are just examples, but maybe the pickleball for us to have prints on file ready to go could be $10,000 field just for the pickleball. So that's something he's going to give us, send us over some numbers, and that way we can kind of see if we want to invest a little bit more, have some shovel-ready projects ready to go, or just potentially, like Andrew said, push pause on the LWCF and then move forward next year.
And talking about fundraising, this may give us a chance to fundraise throughout late this year, early next year for that match, local in-kind stuff. So we could do a fundraiser. I mean, if we want to do it big,
Build the dugouts, this
Yeah.
off year, we do
Right.
something
Yes.
else. We can figure
and
that
we
out.
could get the labor involved in the people who help. Got 10 guys and it took them, 8 hours,
That was my kind of plan.
40 hours.
Let's not waste the year. I think there's other things we can
80 hours.
do where this year where we can kind of get ready, like you said, shovel ready, boom, go once we get it.
And, one of the first things my thought was if we decide on the ball fields, get some hard print, some
Yeah.
good numbers to where we can actually go, okay, we paid for these drawings, we have it, we're ready. We can actually go out with in-kind labor and go, hey, the dugouts need to be right here. And get ahead of the game potentially. So
Before there's any field
Mhm.
put in place or fences or anything, we could stage it and then utilize our dollars for they make more weight as far as the match goes.
Yeah.
So it should be better that way.
yeah, so
For sure.
Mike will send over some stuff here shortly and then I'll share it with council.
Sounds good. Moving on to new business. 2026 budget form ones and budget count.
Yeah, so I distributed the budget calendar at our meeting on 7/1. The form ones, as I said, is in your packet. It's the screen sheet, and I did have pages for each. If you want to hang on to that, keep that in with your meeting stuff. That's sort of the living document. As Joe put it earlier, as we go along with this 26 budget, I've got all of our statements in for the month of June. I just have to finish reconciling that. We'll reconcile through May with all of our funds. So once I get the books closed for June, I'll send everything to Baker Tilly. And we're going to look to see where we're at as far as revenues this year, projected revenues for the second half of the year, what things look like at the end of the year, and in order to fund those projects that are anticipated for next year. So ideally, we will have a good handle on things when we go to start planning for capital assets, things like that. That's all for now. Just more to come for sure the next 3 months.
Okay, moving on to guest recognition.
Scott, did you sign in yet, buddy?
No, I ain't signed that.
Good.
I will take care of it.
You got you.
I want to give you credit for being here.
When you do, when you come in, remember to look down.
I thought that was only if we had bank or something like.
No, just we like for if you come,
Your
just have
witness.
your name down. Yeah.
Witness. Yeah. Anita, you're up. Anything tonight?
I'd like to take off my reporter hat and put on my voter registration hat because I work with the Stark County Clerk's office. All elected officials need to file their CFA 1 and CFA 4 forms that you make over $5,000 a year. You need to file both of those. Those need to be filed by Friday, July 11th at noon Central Time. They can be emailed, and I have cards for you if you need them to get the email to get those in, or you can walk them in, whatever is easier. So just a reminder that 12:01, you'll be fine if you don't get those in.
Oh, I think we have missed.
As far as I know, there's a few of us.
Mine.
Yeah,
I need to fix mine then.
I didn't see the
Okay.
response.
I sent it to you today.
Gotcha. I haven't seen it
I'll
today.
look at it. I gotta do it. You'll probably be seeing me tomorrow.
That sounds good. Yeah, we can send them from here. I think we did that with Eric's as well. So yeah, happy
I
to
got
help.
mine done and they said,
Happy to help.
I put my dates on there and she was concerned about my dates
Uh-huh.
because I dated the whole year.
Yeah,
Really, it should have been from January to the end of June.
that's what I did. 1/1/24
So I don't know if
to
I have to fix it or not. You know, what I mean? Just do that.
6/30.
I can't tell you how to fill out your form.
A form in general? No. That's what you can help us.
That's good. I'll look at what I did, or look at what I did, look what Eric did. And I shared, I meant to share. That's fine. Just let me know. I'll take a look tomorrow and call me, we'll fix it. And if anybody else has questions, I know Linda got hers in as well.
Yeah,
Everyone's
So
got
you're
it
good.
except for me.
Just
Yeah.
a couple. Just remember to sign your paperwork and to mark your card. That's all I asked.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you.
Thank you. Donna, you're up next.
Good evening, everybody. The festival had our review meeting last week. And we it definitely was a review. We talked about just about everything that occurred in all the events and suggestions for improvement and that kind of thing at that meeting. Our next meeting is July 29th. Here, Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So well, it'll still be, I guess, it's sort of in the review process, but we're pretty much done for the year. So,
Towards 26 now,
pardon me?
working towards 26 now.
Absolutely.
Anything else for us?
I don't think so. So July 29th is our next Mint Festival meeting. If anybody wants to be interested to come.
At what time?
6 p.m. Sorry, 6 p.m.
Any questions for Donna? No. Okay, we're moving on then. Scott? Anything? No?
No.
Okay, moving on, department reports. For treasurer,
Yes, so. I've got the Form 1s there for you guys to look at. There are, I've got few customer adjustment requests. We had full credit not received on our last billing, requesting a credit of 2688 from account 7565004. Account number 6977019. We had an error in our meter reads, and some of them to the tune of thousands of dollars. So editing on the account was this before the billing statement went out. A credit of $1,863.32 for that error on 6977019, and the same with accounts 5350011. That one was read less in error, but still a credit of $209.85. And then we had this instance where some people move a home and there's a full fill credit that where the water doesn't run through our system, and they moved. So there's no 3-month. We base our credits on, or our adjustments on 3-month basis. So looking at a previous customer, though, the average wastewater from the previous home, and requesting a credit of $75 off the property owner's wastewater charges, account 7805002. So those are the adjustment requests.
Make a motion to approve the customer adjustment.
Second it.
all in favor?
They appreciate that. I emailed out the first 6 months of the year fund and appropriation reports. So looking at our fund reports, our water and sewer are pretty steady. We're down a bit in both of those. We have had some capital expenses, though, from the first part of the year come through. Our general fund is in better shape. We're up in our NVH. We still have our big paving project to pay for, though. So that's one that'll hit us between CDIT, NVH, or local road and street, and NVH restricted. So looking at those funds, though, there is, we're anywhere between 40,000 up in NVH to 18,000 up in NVH restricted. And that's that restricted fund is just for paving, maintenance, things like that. So we pretty much budget and use as much as we can what we see come in for fuel taxes on that. And we can lean on that pretty heavily from where we start to the end of the year. We're in pretty good shape in those. So that I'll have leave you guys to take a look at that as well. We can discuss any thoughts at the next meeting. I'll keep these out here because we'll be looking at exactly this when we're planning for next year. And we know we have some expenses come at the end of the year, but it's nice to be able to plan those instead of sort of catch can to keep budgets steady and in good health going forward. So we've got a few POs here. PO 2838 is to First Source Insurance. This is our accident and sickness policy for our work, not our work comp. Our work comp through Liberty Mutual. This is our renewal of our accident sickness, or our, accident sickness policy for our North Judson Wayne Township Fire Department. 2837 is to Otis, for signs recently, new town park signs, town hall. Had some town seals made. We had, men's and women's made, new and brighter for our restrooms at the, town park. Voice systems, 2836. This is our software for the year, Keystone billing device, fund and payroll for the year in the amount of $12,175. And if I didn't mention, the 2838 is $2,369, and PO 2837 is $715. So 2836 voice systems, $12,175 for that yearly cost. And then Baker Tilly, our monthly PO 2835. Sorry, I went backwards here. It's to Baker Tilly Advisory Group. Our monthly invoice is $3,750.
Make a motion to pay PO 2835, 2836, 2837, 2838.
I second it.
All in favor?
They appreciate that. Budget IPI, our quarterly testing is done as of 6:30. So we got that finished for Indiana testing and in compliance for the first half of the year. DNR projects, fire excellence, that's all I got.
Thank you very much.
You're very well.
School board, nothing tonight. Building inspector,
We don't have anything from the building inspector, but we do, spoke with Todd. He's gonna be resigning from his position as our building inspector, so we'll have that opening. So if the council knows of anyone that might be interested, over the next couple of days, we can discuss that, and then we can, if we don't have anybody that we want to reach out to potentially, then we can post the open position.
anybody have any ideas?
Who do we have to make out permits after Todd resigns?
He said he'll still, until we find
Okay,
someone.
because I know the county had
Yeah,
a little issue there.
yeah, no, he said he'll fill, he'll keep it up, but he is resigning.
Just as long as somebody was able to come and get.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, day to day, Kara, Andrew, myself will take care of everything we can. If we have to reach out to Todd for something, he's obviously available. But
Okay, I don't know. Does anybody have any ideas? Okay, the answer is no, Joe. So
okay,
we're gonna need to post it.
and we've got a couple of folks that we potentially could reach out to that had some interest before Todd took the position. So we can reach out to
Applications.
see if they're interested.
Yeah, for sure.
Trust me, just applications is not all you need. Even from experience.
Get started.
Qualified.
We'll get going on that.
I thought it was gonna put under the police umbrella. Sorry, Frank. Okay, moving on. Code enforcement.
These notes in my police section. Part of my 30 days notes here. Which we made physical contact with 19 citizens regarding various ordinance issues. So, and we're seeing improvement in most places. Obviously sometimes it's always the same stuff, and we nudge them and they do a little, getting grown adults to take care of their business sometimes is harder than having toddlers take care of their business. Sometimes it's, it's older folks that don't have means as well. So obviously we work with them a little better, but generally I think we're seeing improvement across the board.
Might want to remind some people that just because they mow inside the fence, they can also mow outside. I was a couple.
Yeah, we've got some.
Just riding around.
Yeah,
I know there's a couple.
We've got some mowing.
alleyways.
Alleys.
Yeah, there's some liens around.
I think some people too, just, maybe they just don't know that they're responsible for the alleyways and stuff like that. Seems like.
We've had to send that out every couple of years.
Yeah, I know I get with Tim once in a while just to make sure I'm not mistaken stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I know we're gonna be getting with you about some potential mowing lanes that we're looking for some addresses from you and that we can get care of, that lien process and get that going.
I got a couple where, you know, beat on the door, I can see their home, I know their vehicles are home or whatever, and then just see the don't answer the door or whatever, and I leave a tag, you know, and we still don't get anything.
We could use the text my system for alleys.
Yeah, yeah.
We could use it for vegetation, just reminders
Yeah.
that what they're
Yeah,
responsible
that's a good
for.
idea. This is the height of
And
the
then
season.
also the water bill is pretty effective too, so we should probably
Keep up on that.
do it out there so everybody has no excuses.
Justin's on. Justin, question for you, while we're talking about some ordinances, potential, any movement on our High Street ordinance where those photos that were taken for the inspection warrant?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Which was that? What's the last name of that one?
404 High Street, that was Mr. Witt's property.
Yeah, I don't think I'm looking. So I heard that the inspection warrant was conducted, but I don't see that I got any pictures from that inspection warrant. Did you guys, hold on. The last thing that I have is on May 22nd, me sending over the signed order, but I didn't get any pictures when the inspection warrant was served.
Yeah, I know Todd was gonna send all that over, so I'll follow up with him.
The
Okay.
camera's on his desk. We can hunt down those pictures. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get
if you got
those
the
over to you.
pictures, if you got the pictures and you send them over, I've got the complaint worked up for it already. I just need to attach those as exhibits. So, but I don't see that I got those. So just send me over the pictures, and if you guys are ready for it, and you've not seen any more movement, we'll file the complaint.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen any movement, and actually a few of the unsafe letters we've sent out, we've gotten those back. Since they are certified mail, the recipient hasn't signed them, so they've just eventually come back to us.
Okay.
What would it be our next step on a few of those?
Publication or notice by publication.
Okay.
When we can't get them served any other route, statute lets us serve by publication.
All right, thank
Very
you,
good.
Justin.
We'll get that form, whatever that looks like. We can get together on that.
Okay.
There's probably a few unsafes that are kind of stalled out too.
Yeah.
I can think of.
Corner.
Oh, the
Right.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one
That's one of them.
this is the second time the certified letters come back.
Old Pioneer Florist. That has-
They actually got the demo permit going.
Oh,
so-
did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
local says they're starting on that.
Okay, great. No, I just, when I'm driving around.
Yeah, those, that residents, they actually, they hired a company and then that company kind of bailed on them. And so they have to start the process again, finding another company to demo it. So, yeah, the first one started and then kind of left us. So,
Okay, anything else with code enforcement?
That-
We're good. Okay, moving on to unsafe,
I think we just covered it.
BZA planning. Got anything on that? Anything
No,
else
we've
about
had
it?
some interest in, you know, what do I have to do to operate a business on this property, that kind of thing. And we advise them, you know, a variance of some kind, and the publication, a public hearing, so nothing, submitted as of yet, though.
Hey, redevelopment commission,
We'll likely, would 2 weeks from now, plan for, because I would like to get the PO approved in both meetings, Troyer's PO approved, and that'll give us a little more time to talk more about budgeting next year, budgeting this year, where we at with projects this year, that kind of thing. So I would look for 6 PM, a half hour would be plenty of time.
park,
Mark, we covered some of the stuff with Troyer Group already. We have had some of the vegetation that didn't take off, replanted. It's being currently watered to make sure it thrives now. And then I know we've had some sewer issues over at the park bathrooms. I know Ken's spent a lot of time over there, her and her crew, trying to figure that out. And the best course of action is actually just going to be running a new sewer line through the park bathroom to the manhole on George Street on that main. So we decided that it's going to be best. We're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're actually going to tie in our park sewer on one side of that manhole, and actually the other side of the manhole, Kurt Verhagen was going to need a new tap for his newest duplex that he's looking to start building here in the next couple months. So while the road's cut, Ken's gonna tap into both, save it. That way we can get the road fixed and back on.
When's the plan? I can do that.
Wednesday we're starting.
That's all I have on park.
Right, police,
Just some quick numbers for calls for service for 30 days. It's actually an oddly slow time, probably because of the heat. 424 calls for service. We assisted the Stark County Sheriff's Department with 27 calls in the area. Stark County EMS on 13 medical calls, responded to 7 motor vehicle accidents. Assisted other agencies outside of Stark County law enforcement with 3 calls, 3 title checks, 3 vehicle lockouts, 0 overdoses this 30 days, which is good. And then I have about 32 more ordinances to touch base with after the 19 that we did in that 30-day period. That's about it.
any questions for Frank? Thank you, Frank.
Oh, you know what? I do have something else.
Go ahead.
It's on there.
Yeah,
I got a couple POs
On my mind.
PO 2822 for Ken and Tammy's Collision Auto, fixing some door repairs on the 2016 Ford Explorer for $2,219.56. That was our only issue at Mint Festival. It was enough. PO 2823 for the Law Enforcement Training Board down in Indy for Adam Stoll's basic course fee for a total of $540 even. And PO 2824 to Dustin Stamps for our replacement of rotors and pads for our Durango at $586.00. And that is all.
Make a motion to pay PO 2822, 2823, and 2824.
Second it.
All in favor?
Hi.
Okay, moving on to fire.
So we went through a little bit of a restructuring at fire department. We had a special election last week. So moving forward, I'll be chief. The gentleman sitting behind me, Kevin Brown, is our new assistant chief, taking the spot that I had. Other than that, kind of just getting a feel for how things work. We did hot dogs at movie night at the park. Kind of not a great night as far as weather wise, but still a pretty good turnout. Guys had fun. We were at the Stark County Fair last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was. We took our safety training house and left it over there for the week, and guys enjoyed that. So we've got one new member, Kathleen Durkin. She was voted for full-time membership last Thursday. We've got some trainings and things scheduled for this month. And that's about it.
Yeah, these spots open.
Yeah, I think we got a couple openings. Not sure how many. Not very many.
At least 2. Minus 3.
But we've got a couple applications in now too. They'll come next week to our work call and meet the guys, and then we'll vote on them on next meeting. So we got they did that run during Mint Fest to try to get recruit some help. So, and I heard there's some more interest. And if you know anyone, send them our way. Always love
Good, yeah, I said, before, I think when Joe was the chief, he would always kind of give us a number update,
I got you.
-2 or -4,
No.
whatever.
Yeah, we have 1 or 2, I think maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when you lose a couple, it's a
Mhm.
little bit hairy if you don't have
Yeah.
enough staff or stuff, so. We're good, glad to see with interest, that's very best.
Thanks for,
Your promotion, so,
Yeah.
and you guys do great.
and thanks for coming out to the movies in the park. I know it was hot
Yeah.
and I know the fair was going, but we appreciate you guys getting involved for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, anybody have any questions tonight for Nate? No?
I got a question.
Yeah, sure.
So I kind of
get a feel of what's going on. From our side of it, I'm still trying to learn, like, what would you guys need for information wise, sort of like bigger purchases coming from us? We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Really, we just want the budget for, trying to install a generator. The floors in the firehouse are starting to pop from all the trucks leaking water. We've got 3 trucks right now that are being held together by JB Weld, because the pipes are starting to get so rusted. So we're gonna have to start busting things apart doing that. And what kind of stuff can we help prepare you guys for, to let you guys know what we can or can't do within the house?
So the first thing you brought up was fire trucks, right? Some of what you said.
Well, generator, fire trucks. And
Yeah, the generator, we talked about that. We recently discussed the generator, what, about a month ago or 2 months ago?
There's just a process for selling stuff like that.
Yeah.
It has to go to auctions.
Yeah, that. And then first, there was some odd that had the line on some generator that could potentially work, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of where it's today.
Don't know if that's like you guys were trying to get one in 25, was that a 26 project, or but you've operated without a generator for the entirety of the fire department?
Well, but
That would be something you guys would plan and come to us and say, here's what we need. There has to be a plan behind it.
You know, our capital assets plan would be,
It's a lot of a lot of times we have to go and like our jetpack, it was 10 years, 40,000 a year, budgeted across 3 funds. So there's a lot of background that goes into those big expenses, and it's pretty much based on ability, need, and how we can make it work. Yeah.
Police vehicles, utility vehicles, all the capital, spending plan that's brought out. There's now like a 5-year plan to kind of towards that.
And I know
we know you guys need a
put
truck.
some things in there,
Aware of
but
that.
well, I mean,
not
not
part of that.
it's just, we're getting to the point where truck might just break down. It's not like
This is the time of year to talk about it, for sure. Like when we meet with department heads, if there's multiple of you guys that want to come, however you want to do it, we usually sit down and now we're doing more planning, longer range and more in depth, like we do with our sewer and water, we're doing with the whole town. So
Where
the
we
input
at
from you guys will be valuable,
where are we at with paying off the other truck,
Yeah.
Oh, how much is owed still?
Yeah. I just wasn't sure about, like, we're getting into starting to dabble into stuff where it's not gonna be able to be fixed in the house anymore. We've been doing a whole bunch of stuff in house, and now it's gonna have to be
and that stuff.
shipped out, so we don't know how many. It could be thousands of dollars, but we don't know.
And
Yeah,
there's
and
the
that-
relationship with the township, how they may help us on some of these things too.
And then that's some stuff like with Lieutenant, like with Eric, we told him like, get a quote out of house, find out what it's gonna cost. I mean, our garage budget, it's got almost $11,000 a year we're spending on repairs. We can send things out. It's just, they need to get quotes. So we know, like you said, is it gonna be a $2,000 fix or is it an $8,000 fix that's gonna really put a dent in it, and then we can go from there. But the main part of some of that stuff is just getting the quote. So we'll work with the lieutenant to get a quote on that.
Yeah, because numbers and like what we're looking at and different things, and that's how we can budget. So you get us whatever information you can get us and just make it more accurate, and we can get it done hopefully quick.
Yeah, we did
Well,
it.
I just wasn't sure how long the quotes would last, for the way everything's been kind of,
Sure.
price has been kind of jumping around. If I get the
Nothing
quote.
happens fast here.
Yeah,
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
And plus, you gotta think there's also gonna be fundraising on your guys' side too, that we can, whatever means that you have. Now, obviously, I know you're not gonna be able to buy a fire truck with your fundraising,
For sure.
but anything else, you fundraise for something like a generator, like. I don't remember, what was it, like 20,000? We could have this generator thing put in, was that what it was?
There's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but
Todd
But
was
again,
looking at
that was
something
just the
like $7,500.
that's the first time I had ever talked about since I've been here.
The generator.
I figured that Joe never brought it up, so probably wasn't that big of a priority, but now if you're bringing it up, it's probably gonna be a priority because you're the second person. So if that's something that's more economical and we can help afford, and maybe some of the fire budget can help with that too, that may be something we can shoot for this year, as long as you guys have the planning behind it and numbers and the quotes and things like that, right? So if that's something that can be effective, then we think it's impactful, then yeah, that we get behind. But
So you want us to do the legwork and formulate a plan, and then,
bring it to
because
us,
this is
yeah.
new to both of
Actually,
us. I
bring
mean,
it
we
to-
got Joe for.
Actually, you'll bring it to Joe
Right.
And then maybe she'll
Right.
call one of us and we talk about it and then say, yeah, and then maybe check with Andrew on the
Those
money.
meetings, that's why I say.
That's
those
why we do
budget
outside the
meetings,
meeting, we do a
yeah,
lot of
right.
those talkings
Yeah.
like that, so.
Yeah,
uh,
but those budget meetings are important to sit down and, you know, the tanker was a spur where it had an accident.
Well, we had.
So luckily, the redevelopment commission bought it and it's 13,000 every year for 10 years going from fire budget to the economic development. So that was a good fill the gap. Other ways, we need to look at rural development funding, local funding, and ways that we can
Yeah,
utilize the
anyway, we
department,
get grant-
the township, and the town.
Yeah, the quotes are good, so don't worry about a quote being exactly right.
Gives us a ball.
Yeah,
We just need a
ballpark
number
we can.
of what we're looking
Yeah.
at. So we're not gonna hold anybody to any number. We just need to know, is it, like you said, is it a $2,000 fix or is it an $8,000?
Yeah.
And it's just been a lot of sort of playing defense rather than offense. And planning, that's music to our ears. We can plan
Yeah,
for the
we
next
love
10 years.
planning.
We love it. Yeah.
The problem we've had in the past, and it's good that you guys are asking these questions, because the problem we've had in the, I wouldn't say short past, but 5 years ago, we'll say, is one department wasn't always cognizant of the other. So we'd have one department that want to keep beating the door down for $50,000 things. I need this, I need that, I need this. And then we have another one that needs, they don't care about what anybody else needs. So we just like got all, we're kind of in unison to know that, you know, we have to do the hill garage, we have to do the water department, we have things that these bigger projects at the end of the day all carry out to the bottom line before the cash goes. So just have to make sure the right priorities are put in place. So.
And then our capital asset plan, when we do that, like, obviously with Kim with the utility department, you know, she brought a huge wish list this year. You know, and then when our accounting firm Baker Tilly comes back to us and goes, okay, this whole thing, you can afford that over the next 60 years. Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah.
It
But
won't
again, but again, it's a wish list. These are things that we're trying to look at, and okay, we can't do all of them, but we can start figuring out how we can budget going
That's our job,
forward.
yeah. Problem solve, whether that's, maybe it's a
Yeah.
used vehicle, maybe it's this option or this option, then we can.
Yeah.
Maybe
Everywhere
this is-
between a 50-year bonded
Right.
project,
Yeah.
4 million to
Right.
30,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's just, you know, kind of priorities and figuring out what we need. And, but yeah, that's something definitely we stressed. I know we stressed with Todd and to Eric a lot is, you know, we have no problem going outside of our department to get something repaired. It doesn't always have to be fixed in-house. If it's not, you know, if it's above our pay grade, let's get some quotes and get it looked at outside. So
Yeah, we know you guys have done an awesome job being part-time mechanics out there. too, So we know that.
Well, I think what he's saying, some of this stuff is beyond anything we can do in our county. I mean, there's no fire truck places that we can just pull and say how much to fix a tank.
So
Yes,
it's not
ground
this-
point, and we had to take a truck to ground
yeah,
point all the
and
time.
that's
Absolutely.
that's the battle we're gonna fall into is because a lot of these places that do it, you know, are limited. You know, we might have RPI, but they're still in business. We might have McGinley's get ready to go out of business and retire and sell the business. So, you know, our options are shrinking and shrinking to where it's
It makes a great cost.
it's hard to go out and say, okay, I'm gonna get 3 different quotes. This guy's at 10,000, this guy's at 15, this guy's at 12, where there's, you know, you beat down a lot of doors and waste a lot of time and you go, okay, there's one player that's willing to do it.
Did that answer all your questions?
Thank you. For
Um,
now.
Okay, we're moving on to utilities. Yeah,
Okay, everybody should have received a report. We did a water valve replacement, gave the new guys a good learning experience. We had to replace a meter pit setting, which gave them some experience because we haven't had that nice little leak yet to give them that experience. On Main Street, we were called for a sinkhole. We went and investigated and found out that an old brick manhole was just deteriorating and collapsing. We were able to remove all that and reconnect the lateral to the service main and got all that filled in. Now we're just waiting for it to settle. Throw some coal patch or something until we get the paving crew out here to fix it. On my wish list that Joe brought up, I did have 2 gate valves. Actually like 7 gate valves on that wish list. 2 of them decided to break on us. I did somewhat get them fixed. That might get us by for a few years, but that is something we will want to be looking at soon. I have a couple POs. PO 2825 to Platinum Chemical for sanitation wipes for $1,292. PO 2826 to USA Blue Book for lab supplies for $546.88. PO 2827 to BL Anderson for the wastewater treatment plant calibrations for $1,690.17.
PO 2828 to Flow Techniques for the CSO pump troubleshooting for $722.50.
Make a motion, we pay PO 2825, 2826, 2827, and 2828.
I second it.
All in favor? No check in.
All I have.
Okay, we're all for the staff now. Good. Any questions for Kim?
What was the Sheridan Cherry? Just small.
It was a little
Bubble.
sinkhole. I sent the guys over there today to open it up, some,
But
fill it in.
patched it. I saw that. Yeah,
And
that's a
then anybody
acceptable
finds-
area.
Yeah, if anybody finds 2 cones floating around. Somebody stole my cones because I had that coned off so somebody didn't drive over it. And
Right, your cones are my cones.
no, those were my cones. I had
Our-
yours at the drive.
our-
Otherwise, I would have reported them missing.
I did see your doors. And I don't remember where I saw them.
Did I get my cones back from you?
No, I think they're still out there. I gotta get them back to it.
My cones disappear all the time. They're guarding Norway basically.
They're guarding
right now.
Norway right
Yeah,
now.
still are. Yeah. I could have Patrick get those for punishment.
4 of those are mine out there.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Do yours have your name on
They will here when I get done.
them?
I had about 50 my list. Uh-huh.
Okay, thanks, Kim. Moving on, town manager.
Yeah, we've already covered park. I've been working on some end-out vouchers and paperwork closeout for some of our CCMP projects. So we're eligible for our next round in. Obviously, been working with HWC and Focus Audio for screen, and Andrew and I have been working, getting that all going with them, and you can see we're recording live and fulfilling all of our requirements with the state, so that's great. We've also we put in an order with Ozone Graphics in Franceville about getting some town gear that we potentially can sell here. We get a lot of interest in shirts and things like that. So I know you guys might have been asked for some sizes and things like that. So yeah, we've got some of that coming. And we've been dealing with a lot of zoning questions lately. There's been a lot of interest in people moving into town, starting potential small businesses. We're seems like we've been getting, 3-4 calls a week from realtors asking about zoning questions. What's this property zone for? Is it eligible to be, commercial or business, or is it strictly a single family, multifamily? So that's exciting that we're getting those kind of calls in, and obviously our town's generating some interest from outside, people wanting to move here and potentially start some small businesses. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. I've got 6 purchase orders. Purchase order 2829, the Fleece and Vandenberg for our park sidewalk project for $1,340.05. I have purchase order 2830 to USI for our Hubney Street sidewalk project and our 2025-2 CCMG project for $4,404. Purchase order 2831 to Troyer Group for the work they've done on the LWCF project for $5,965. That original cost was almost, I think, $13,800.
Yep.
So that was what they've done today. So cut that price almost in half. So we'll take it. We've got first order 2832 to H&T Electric. This was to help the install over at Norwayne of the new service and actually running the new service towards that beer garden area with the spider box. So all those crazy quotes we've heard for the years about, $100,000 for electric, it's going to cost us $11,594.07. So
Not 100,000, like Bob told
So that's exciting. We should.
me. Bob told me $100,000, costs 11,594.
Yeah.
Or,
For electric.
oh,
Electric.
What he just said.
Yeah.
We got off cheap then, sounds like.
Yeah.
We got
And he said it was gonna be 30,000 and it only be 11,000.
And we want to thank NIPSCO and RUC. They've done a lot of work.
They did.
Appreciate,
H&T too.
yeah, H&T, everything they've done. All the work that they've done for free out there, the boxes they've installed. So we want to, obviously NIPSCO, RUC, and H&T Electric. huge thank you to help us get this accomplished for that cost. We have purchase order 2833 to Focus Audio and Visual for $9,408.47 for the video board and video system an audio system that we have to record meetings. And then the last is purchase order 2834 to Dick's Sporting Goods for employee appreciation picnic gifts for $569.81.
Make a motion to pay PO 2829, 2830, 2831, 2832, 2833, and 2834.
I second it.
All in favor?
And then I will follow up with the photos from the High Street inspection warrant tomorrow, and we'll get those over to Justin and keep that ball moving.
When they starting that Human sidewalk?
2027.
7.
We were hoping to have the park sidewalk in 26 and then Huey in 27, but with NDOT slowing some things down now, it looks like everything's going to be in 2027.
Oh.
So we're going to be able to take a little bit of breath in 26 and mentally
Hard in 27.
mentally prepare and financially prepare, because those are two big federal sidewalk projects going off simultaneously, and it would have really been nice to split those up in 2 years, but
I guess it's also nice to know now that we can plan right before we
Yeah.
do our budget. So yeah, that'll help too.
It'll take a little recovery. With Joe's talk of developments and that, I did meet again with the realtor, just to put a note on this, out at the working property on the east side of town. And she came down and met us once, and then she brought a colleague with her who focuses on commercial real estate and that kind of thing. And she's, looking at national, regional, local chains that may want to go in there for some development on that piece of property. So, along with housing on, the near side, multifamily side. But, I said, we're open-minded here, but it would be in the process. If it's planned unit development, we have our codes. They would have to follow the planned unit development, procedures, as well as any developments. So, she says they encounter a lot of towns that, want to push things away, don't want, they said it depends on, a lot, depends on what it is, what you're looking to develop there. So, but they're excited about the prospect of the property and that development's moving this way. So we'll see what we may, be able to attract the property.
And just piggybacking on that, with some of our CCMG projects, there might be some time in the near future that we're starting to set up for certain streets or paving and things like that. You might pivot rather quickly to, if there is a development coming through there and we need to, instead of doing 6 roads one year, now we're really focusing on that Oakwood extension to get back to development or something, just keep that kind of in your mind that there might be some kind of
flexibility.
Yeah,
That's fine.
sometime in the near future, we might be talking one way and all of a sudden we go, we're gonna press pause on that. We have to focus on this because
And it
they
may,
want to-
and it may be as different as 10 grand or 20 grand of a match just to gravel it while there's work going on. And then that at least gets us a defined road back in our whole, whatever you want to call that, agglomeration of street to gravel it while construction's going on and then be able to plan it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And they were very excited, like Andrew said, that we were welcoming of this. We were looking for this. They said, like Andrew mentioned, most towns are don't want it. They don't want to steer away from that, aren't willing to be flexible and say, okay, hey, we'll work on a CCMG project to get this road finished out because it's bringing houses or business to us. So they were very excited that we were that open-minded. Yeah.
Cool. Good. Anything else, Joe?
That's it.
Thank you. Legal update, Justin Schramm, you have anything for us tonight?
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me call in. Eric doesn't know it, but he's appreciative too, because he would have been waking up tomorrow with strep for sure. No, I don't think so. When I get those pictures on that High Street property, I'll file the complaint, get the ball rolling on that one. We'll just have to talk about, well, let's file the complaint first, then we'll talk about what the town council wants to do about that property, because I know how those things go, and yeah, so I guess we'll take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. You have any questions for Justin? Thank you, Justin.
Additional business deemed necessary by the council, Alex? Linda? Eric?
I don't think so.
Josh? Josh wanted to remind everybody on 7/18 is our employee party, 3:30, right?
That's what I got wrote down.
Make sure we got RSVP if we haven't.
I have one last note. We got notification that I've got to get documents back to them. State Board of Accounts is coming in to do a records examination, so we're excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Can't wait to see him.
Which one's that?
Within 3, yeah, so that'll be a note. We'll have a first meeting. And probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm guessing it was a week ago that I got the notification, a little over a week ago. And I gotta get Form 1 or Form 9, Form 6 and 7 back to them. And then they'll schedule a date that they'll be on site, and we'll schedule an opening conference sometime around then. It'll be short, and I think there's Zoom attendance with a lot of these, especially the opening. It's the closing where they want attendance of our council president. I always invite Josh as well, just have 2 members there, so.
One question I had real quick on this setup, Drew.
Yeah.
Do we have, I don't see any external mics or anything over here. Is there one? Oh, I see it.
And it's a Bluetooth little
That little guy there.
yeah.
So I tell you what, I listened to the audio and it's not great.
So it comes from the unit, has a mic, and this has a
I
mic.
was
Yeah.
impressed with the audio.
That's amazing.
So
I
know
thought
it's
so too.
total.
I sent John the
was like,
link
That's pretty good.
immediately after the meeting. I sent him a link, and from where we were, the cost and everything of drop mics, running
Yeah.
cables, drilling holes, all that, to this has been, and we spin that thing and there's a blank whiteboard there, or we could share. We did that meeting with Baker Tilly where they drove down here. Well, they don't need to drive. They could just set up on that. And we meet about budgets with our department heads
Yeah.
with that thing. Yeah.
And we can actually add extra of these puck mics around.
Yeah.
For a small fee.
Yeah.
Sure, we need them.
Yeah.
For now,
I
yeah.
can hear you guys playing this day when I want to.
Yeah, that's great. It's extremely valuable being wireless. You just pick it up off the charger and just set it there. And then there's a mute on and off. So it's
Very
beautiful.
impressive.
Yeah.
And before we jump off, I know Josh mentioned about our employee appreciation picnic. Nate and Kevin being new to this, I know
Yeah.
Nate, the chief and assistant chief always are invited to that. So Kevin, now you being in that role on July 18th at 2:30 PM at Town Park.
Bring the family.
Bring the family.
I RSVP'd.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you're gonna come, just make sure you let Karen know. To get the PM done.
Don't get cracked.
Sure, no, this way.
I don't know.
You said you would.
Okay, anything else?
I think
Frank, you got anything?
I got a line on a guy who maybe gonna hire.
It's exciting news.
Yeah,
He was riding around last night, wasn't he?
yeah, I wanted him to ride with Patrick. I spent some time with me a couple times now. Wanted him to ride with Patrick to get Patrick's thoughts. Patrick was I was kind of leery that Patrick would not be super thrilled about him. He really was. So start pushing that ball forward. It's a lengthy endeavor, but at least we got something in the.
We're 6 weeks ago or 6 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Bob, Jim, you sure anything to talk about?
I gotta talk to Joe after me because I think that PO for H&T Electrical was only. I have an email. I thought you were included in it.
Well, it's approved in case.
just in case, yeah.
So
So
in case it's a person.
Yeah.
Don't have any.
We're all free to play.
Crazy.
Okay, all right, payment of claims. June 17th through July 7th, the amount of $311,461.17.
Big motion to pay those APVs.
Second. All in favor? All right.
Motion is adjourned.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Sure.
Will you hit mute on that for me, sir?